Are you recording it? Yeah. Okay. It's definitely recording. G'day, Keith here, ProNoobRC. Jesse's out sick, unfortunately. About a month ago, sorry, we're cruising Facebook and Instagram, checking out builds. We came across a little tuber for the Axial 124 SCX10 deadbolt. So of course we ordered all the components we needed to build that. I just want to start showing off the chassis first. It's an amazing little piece, actually very detailed for something so tiny. Very cleanly done. Even a little mesh on the floor. Beautiful job. Shapeways always delivers on that. So that's just a chassis. You'll need that part list to do the FJ style. There's two styles, Suzuki, which is the S style, and the FJ, which is the F style. So, yeah, there's your part list there. We'll add that in the description later for you. And yeah, let's take a look at these parts. Okay, so obviously the chassis, and this will attach into the SCX24 truck RTR from Axial. These are chassis components, I believe. Part number on that 687. Yeah, chassis components. There's a build thread that we'll put a link to on there too. Obviously your seats, very nice. Now these don't require any sanding, any finishing. You can just spray them immediately with some primer and toss them in. Side panel, we'll just leave these bagged up for right now. Other side panel. This is the servo mount for the ES Servo ES0MAII from Emax. It's like $20 for 4 of them. Hood and grill. The grill is attached to the inside of the hood there. Just got to take it, put it together, attach it to the front of the frame. The sweet little dash with the shifters. It's got a little cage that goes over the shifter protector. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to nip that off before you install that. We'll check in the build link on that. The build link is done by the creator of it, so it's pretty the greatest little print on that side, a little bit off actually, but not too bad. This is the rear piece for the tail and your roof. And this little guy is your radio box slash battery cover or something. He's printed in that clear stuff that breaks really easily, so I don't like the clear stuff from them. Oh, it's a cooler and a fuel tank is what it is, so we're going to paint that up to look like a Coleman, and yeah, get that looking like a fuel cell. Make that decent. As you know, Jesse and I already built two SCX10 or SCX24s. So for this build, we picked up another one at Untitled RC in Winnipeg today. They've always got stock, so. RTR, decent little radio, USB style charger, comes with the 4 AA's you need for it, extra links to change the wheelbase, and the battery already pre-installed. I highly recommend, if you don't have one of these, grab one for wintertime or off season if you live in a place where you get snow. There you have it. So the rig. Our first step is going to be completely strip this guy right down to nothing. Just the frame rails, skid plate, and transmission. And then we'll start from there building it up. Let's check it aside for now. And we will start on that. Frame rails, you have to separate them to unhook these little pins from the corner of the bumper. Separate them out, slides out. We're going to put these lights into the microshark headlight mounts. Actually, just released a new model of this, the JL for Jeep. This is a CRC edition. Should be out next couple weeks. Should be showing at the shop. Scoop one of those up too. Okay, there we got her, knocked right down to the airframe, skid plate, motor, transmission. Obviously the skid plate screws got to come out, but we're just kind of plopping it in there to give you an idea what it's going to look like. Boom! It's pretty cool with the frame in there. Now with the Shapeways parts, they come finished in black and white. Obviously you can pick the color. I believe this one actually comes in the black frame with the white panels. I'm going to take this outside and hit it with the, Tamiya Surface Primer L. The plastic's a metal gray. This is a heavy filler, so I'm going to hit that just to kind of smooth that out a little bit, and then another coat of paint over top, and it should look pretty smooth. So, and then I am going to get the rest of the parts sniped and broke away from their, or snipped, sorry, and broke away from their castings, and get the signal ready to go. Okay, so we got the microshark, baby shark tuber chassis up in primer right now, getting ready to sand it down, and then we're gonna hit it with a TS52, kind of do a different take on it. I was kind of thinking silver for the frame, but I'm going to do a nice smooth finish on it with a nice candy lime green. While that's drying up, we're going to start building the wheels and tires for this thing. We went with the RC 4-wheel drive 1-inch steel stamp beadlocks and the 1-inch RC 4-wheel drive scrambler off-road 1-inch tire. Compared to the factory tire, they're quite a bit taller, quite a bit bigger, a lot softer, and they have a foam in them, and the beadlock. So they're going to absolutely suck to build because they're micros. Micros are tough. These are a obviously directional tread, so you got to make sure we put two this way on the truck. I always like to get one started and then Loctite the rest after. Okay, so I've been working on the chassis here, sanding down the 3D prints. First started with small strips of 400 grit. Got to sand down the plastic everywhere first, just a little bit, and then spray it with Tamiya filler primer as I showed you earlier. And then you sand it again, prime it again, sand it again until it starts looking good. All the areas are going to be exposed. You're going to want to sand that out smooth. The more time you put into it, obviously the better it's going to look. Same as the seats, the dash, all the panels, they all need to be sanded a little bit. Not a lot of it, a little bit, you know, they don't really need to, but it's just a little bit of effort and it looks so much better. These parts come from Shapeways so nice that, you know, it's almost a waste of time. But end result again, once again, will be better. You don't want to take any sharp edges off the chairs all the way around to give them more of a natural look. Good morning! Just getting my Sunday morning started on the bench here. We're up to a little bit later than we wanted to be working on this guy last night. Got up to about 3 in the morning with the sanding. Real tough to get in there and sand all these little tubes down and get them smoothed out. Very, you know, it's a Shapeways print, thank God, or else it would be, well, it wouldn't look as good. It would look pretty ugly if it came off of a the printer. Like, it's pretty detailed for something so small. So I'm hitting this with 400 grit sandpaper, a little bit of my sanding block. I don't know what this started off as, but it's been used so much it's pretty soft. I'm not sure what the grit is on this one. I'm thinking it's about 320. But anyway, yeah, sand, prime, sand. You don't need to fill a primer like I showed you the Tamiya, because that will fill these little ridges in between. And with the sand, you take down the high spots, put them in, or fill it with paint. I just took a trip over to my local Canadian Tire and picked up some non-hobby paint, which I don't ever really like using on a build, but I've watched a few videos where guys have used the Rust-Oleum on the plastic, on the 3D prints, and it actually fills up all these little tiny little imperfections and makes it look really nice at the end. So it's a really heavy, like, it's one shot, like it covers it first shot. So we're gonna try that out and see how it goes. Now I know with that product, it might not like this primer that I put on. So I need to do a small test piece. I'll use one of my trays because they won't be visible. We'll see how that goes from there. So the Axial 124 scale JL comes out next week. Planning on scooping one of those up too. And I think the bodies for trucks like this will work a little bit better. I picked this guy up. He's just a little bit too. He was too long for that wheelbase. So at the next wheelbase, we can put him on there. Should just drop right on. Instead, we were gonna have to shorten everything up. I feel I'm wrong about that. We'll have to look into it. But anyway, we'll montage that piece. So I sanded these last night, shot the inside of them with primer. I'm going to try a test shot of the Krylon, or not the Krylon, but the Rust-Oleum on here. We're going to go outside and shoot that. Be right back. So we'll be painting the cage TS52 Candy Lime Green from Tamiya Paint Products for plastics. We're also going to have the frame match because if you put the two together, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb and look like it was an afterthought. So, of course, this already comes painted or definitely not. I'm sure it's not powder coated, but you never know. And it's got a black coating on it. So we're just going to scuff that up. You do not have to remove it. You just need to scuff that up. And then you need to go take this part and wash it in soap and water because this would have been stamped out on a machine. Even though they painted it, good chance it's become greasy with assembly after the fact. So just like any other part before you paint it, you wash soap and water. This is just 400 grit automotive grit sandpaper. Or just automotive sandpaper, not automotive grit, sorry. All the areas that you don't get it nice and scuffed, the paint won't stick. Okay, there we have it. Both frame rails done, washed up, cleaned up. Inside is lightly scuffed, best I could get in there. It doesn't really matter too much on the inside. You don't want to go too heavy on the paint. You get a little sticky and hard to put back together. I'm going to go shoot these with my TS52 Candy Lime Green from Tamiya and get them installed onto the frame. So there we got it, there we have it, if you would. Our cage paint is still drying up a little bit more on it. It's still a little bit soft, but nice and smooth and shiny with the sanding and the primer. We'll get some better shots when it's a little more dry. It's still a little wet. We're just trying to get through this quick in one day. Busy week coming up. So there's chassis, there's the frame rail. The frame rail's over here painted. I'm just going to work on a bit of the interior right now. The hood and grill come as one part. You will need to separate the grill from the back of the hood with your flush cuts. Once that's cleaned up, these two halves get clipped together. And you run one of the 5mm screws from the kit through it. You're going to want to play with that a bit to get it sitting straight as you can. Honestly, you might have to come apart, maybe work down a little bit. Start prepping the hood. I'm going to go Take care of sanding this all. Gonna do the outside. Take care of sanding this all off camera and then get back to it when we're done. Okay, so I just tossed the skid plate and the transmission back in. Working on the grill, getting the holes drilled out for the headlights. I'm going to take the 3mm stock lights from the Axial, mount them inside there. Use your pin vise. You don't want to do that with a power drill. Get out your little tiny baby drill some bit set. Run that in. I started with 1.5, and this material from Shapeways is a lot stronger than you think it is. I'm going to go a smaller one first. A little bit easier. I'm just using progressionally larger bits to get a nice little bevel going on to give it some depth. It's not just a hole coming out of the hand with the headlight. So we'll actually turn this down a little bit and then we'll come through the backside of the light just to make it look real. No, not real, but you know, more scale. Boom! Put that in. Chrome, silver, black, white paint. Grill is done. A little bit of filler. Let me go grab a couple more pieces, start getting this thing bang together. So, back to working on the grill. I hit this thing with some TS6 Tamiya flat black paint, and then started going around the grill part with the X2 flat white from Tamiya. I find these flat paints dry up a little bit quick, so I had to add some thinner to this one a little while ago, and it's just a little bit on the thin side, but working okay. Tamiya brush 87017. I've maybe shaped it a bit for how I hold it in my fingers. Never be scared to pick up a brush and do your own craft. It's easy. that dry. Another color up in there. Just an update on progress here. So, the rule is you should stick to what you know. And unfortunately, Sunday hobby shop in this town we live in ain't open, so you gotta take a day off too. So I used paint that I shouldn't have. Some 2-in-1 crap. It says it would cover everything. All I did was just run really quick. It's piled up all around the corners, sags on the bottom. Even though we sprayed it, it just grabbed the edge with it and ran. So slowly been sanding that off all day. It dried okay. It just doesn't look good. It didn't get the coverage I need. And with that, you can't put a second coat on, or it'll just wrinkle up with the paint in it. So the hood we didn't do. The top piece we didn't do. So this piece is being sanded back down. Now we're just into more coats of primer and smoothing everything out over and over and over again. So you just want to keep knocking down the layers, then hitting it with primer so you get a nice smooth finish. You don't see any of those lines. So yeah, you want to knock it down like that, hit the primer, keep going until it's as smooth and shiny as you want. The primer stage, don't go too shiny or your paint won't stick to it. You want to stop about 400 grit. This guy here. You want to stop about 400 grit. This guy's 320 we're using right now, and I have some 220 right here if I want to cut anything down quick. You can, after you do your first coat of paint, you can sand that a little bit more with some 400 grit, and then if your paint gets screwed up, you can get into some really high grit like 10,000, 12,000, and sand out any imperfections. We screw up some paint jobs, and I'm not that great at painting, so we'll show you that tactic, how it works. Works pretty good. So, but yeah, we're gonna speed this up and get a couple things done. So since we went with the F package, it's an FJ style. We ended up painting it with the classic white, flat white around the grill. I didn't spray that. That's actually a brush paint from Fast Color. It's supposed to be airbrush paint, but it worked okay for covering it. It'll work good. It'll look good in there. You don't want to leave it black. Now I'm just extending the wires and the plug for the LEDs to reach to the new placement in the rear of the what's it called? I think it's like a 5-in-1 or something, that ESC radio dealy. So when you're doing this, it's a double wire coming out. You can clip these other ones like right off, or you can unpin them and take them out, but I prefer just to clip them off. It's easier. Good job for flush cuts. Left the wires on one side longer because we didn't need to have them on the plugs, that way I can cross them over to one side and still kind of run it along the frame rails a little bit. You don't have to, I don't know, let's see what happens. Double check that you have your heat shrink. Oh, sorry. tell you. I always do that. There we go. Grill, headlights, fancy, paint, wires, offset one side, run all the way down to the back, plug it in the box. Well, bam! I'm gonna wash my hands because I just finished soldering. That shit has acid in it. I mean, stuff has acid in it. And we'll be back to do this together. So part of this build, you're required to make a 5 to 5.5 inch extension for the battery. This needs to go in before you start building it because you need to pop it in the receiver. The receiver tucks in the back as the two pieces come together, which is step 1, 2, or 3 or somewhere around there. You need to pay attention to the polarity as you did. I just made this end onto there. It fits there, keeps it full correct. But then I checked this end, which is the right connector, but it's obviously not the right polarity. So to switch that, a couple tabs on the back, you can lift them up with a knife. Slide the pins out carefully, put it back in the right orientation. Now you match that with the battery that came out of the vehicle. Make sure you do that correctly. There we have it. So now this would be a safe lead. Another way you can test it is if this one comes all the way around. You should be able to cinch on. You need a 1mm drill bit to drill out all these holes. Make sure everything's clear. Okay, look at that, it even scratched paint. That was not easy.
You say you want to. You wanna go back. You wanna go back to a place where we can hide. You wanna stay there, You wanna stay there, we can leave it, pay me high.
This is the front battery tray. It goes in here. Take the strap off the existing. Don't lock that right down tight. Just get that in and started. So like any other build, you're not going to want to lock anything down crazy tight until it's all fit together. Make sure it fits together. And then you can still kind of tweak and twist the frame and chassis if you need a little, like this. It is not lining up, so. Direction. So, there. This is rear battery plate. I did not sound these. You can see the difference in the texture. So that's the rear ESC plate, not battery plate. So. You go back, snug them up now. Remember, this is just plastic and a micro. Barely tight. It's super tight, so just enough to keep it all together. Excuse me. Gotta grab some tape, tape the SC in. Push that guy forward. Tuck these wires down inside the frame. All the way forward. Put a piece of masking tape on that. Let the wires laid in that groove. Wires pushed down there nicely. Flat. Everything's too good. There we go. Missed a piece. This guy here. That's put it upside down. Yeah, we can put that in after. Okay, you gotta take out the side screws and hold the chassis together. These right at the top, and we can run these in after so they don't get in the way. These parts in the front tuck into the frame rails, as do these pieces in the back in between, and then it gets sandwiched together. Next step is 8 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on both sides. Make sure you line them up. Let's start back, work forward. Okay, so now the chassis is together, drivelines in. We need to first take this side of the drive shaft off. We need to cut this one down to 31 millimeters overall length. After it's connected to the U-joint here. So we got it right there, we gotta pop that off. Okay, so we chop that down with our trusty razor saw. Every hobbyist needs one of those. So we have to put the longer front links into it to stretch out the front end. I need to trim this under the dry shaft. 2 millimeters. Okay, now we have, sorry guys, we didn't get the servo required for the kit because, well, it's still in the mail. We got the mount for it when it does show up. So right now I'm just going to run this lead, extension lead onto the factory, what do you want to call it there? Servo. It's a garbage servo. It doesn't hold up long. It will fail. Now these are the parts that you have to take out and change to the longer ones. The kit comes with long ones and medium ones, and the short ones are on it. You put the medium ones on there, and it comes with a new 3D printed wishbone from Mod19, which is his upper. You got to transfer the pivot balls over. There is a build thread that I'm following that you can follow along to that he has posted onto the Scale Builders Guild. Check it out. Okay, let's get this rear axle in. Halfway there, boys and girls. We lost too many dogs. They're bouncing around upstairs, knocked off the screwdriver off the shelf, and sent all my screws flying. We still screw up the garage. Unwritten rule around here is we don't rob Peter to pay Paul unless Peter's a freaking turd, and he's a turd, so. Could be good. We gotta get to working on it, but so far, nope. Okay, so we got the rear end in, front end almost in. See if we put the rear end just to 4 lengths, hook it back up after you extend it. Clean up the holes. Put the shocks on. And we get a slider. Only thing left will be body panels. It was recommended to order these millstone wheel widener weight kind of dealy things. I don't know what they are, but like a brass wheelstone weight, wheel weight, but with like a barrel nut deal. And never had good luck with the barrel nuts, so we'll see how that goes. Sorry, I know what the wheel widener and the wheel weight is. I just don't know what this millstone company is or not. It must be a. Oh, working on micros. We're using the middle shock hole. There we have it. I'm going to get to working on some body panels, and get an update going on it, and yeah, we'll, get her done. Looking good so far. Perfect, yeah. So the name of the game when you're working with this stuff is scale. And remember, scale is about detail. On a smaller scale, it is really easy to lose the detail. By lose the detail, I mean things like that. You flood a whole bunch of primer and stuff like that. It starts to look rough, starts to look crappy. Simple things. Sorry, I'm not trying to start a new kick drum and cleaning this putty out. Square razor. This is not a razor. This is a file. A square file. You want to set it on an angle. The same angle there, so you're going to plane the back side of that down, and you're going to recut the angle of that groove. Now you got to be careful you don't rub this anywhere past there and scratch up your paint job and have to sand that out too. Or scratch up your, your plastic. Which would be like the same as running a grinder across your bodywork on your car. So as I do this towards the end, and kind of periodically as I go, so it doesn't become such a pain in the butt, but the steel file with the plastic cuts it really quick. And it just adds so much detail to it, having a nice sharp lines everywhere. One thing with 3D printed bodies or 3D printed parts, a lot of guys don't take the time to clean it. They just douse it in putty and call it done. And it's not. Okay, sure. It's not done properly. So. You gotta fill. Primer, sand first, fill, sand, fill, repeat 1,000 times. Get rid of all the little lines in it with almost no primer, so you can still see through it as it is, right? So, but I can't paint, so this is all for naught. It's still gonna look like crap when it's done. So, but I'm getting better. I usually try to get into paint jobs that are a little bit out of my skill range. And notice a lot of the vehicles are solid color with some detail. So now this is 400 grit, as low as I'm going to go, because you do need to paint the stick. Some cats will be like, yo, we're going to hit them with 600 grit, and I'm like, that paint will be off. So. You can hit your paint with the higher grit, like I said earlier, and then start polishing it. I'm going to come at these from the same angle as the other side so I can kind of jig up with my hands and know that I'm holding it the same way. Okay, so we're still working on sanding these panels out, getting them smooth and removing the oil-based paint that we went and bought from Canadian Tire because we were in a rush and it was a Sunday and it was just a bad idea. I make new mistakes all the time, so, you know, don't do it. But now you know.
Don't do it.
That's what you'll have to do. Oh, hey, Jesse's back today.
Hello.
He's not dead no more. He was a little sick there. He had what I had for a month. We don't kiss, I promise.
No comment.
Why did you get all quiet in here after I said that? Anyway, back to work. Jesse's working on painting some of the dash and cooler and pieces. We got this little doodah here. He done for the back. Hood for the front. Sexy time. Very nice. Could go another coat on there. It's a little bit. You can see a little bit of primer on the edge of the vents, but it's perfect. My luck is if I hit it with another coat, I'll get like half a dog or a cat stuck in it. That's just what happens here. So get the roof done, hood done, the rear tailgate piece done. These side panels will be up and running in the next little while. Up and running, I mean painted and ready for decaling it and installing them. I'm not sure if we're gonna do a full like axial wrap with some green and black and white axial decals over top of the white, or if we're just gonna throw a couple on it and keep it, you know, clean. I'm not sure. It's pretty wild with the green, so we might just, you know, throw the book at it with the stickers and go loud. I don't know. Gonna have to see where it's at, what it looks like. It's already gonna look really good with the green and the white. I wanted to call this one this build pocket change, so I think I'm gonna get out the brush and maybe paint that on the side of the panels too. We'll see what happens. Problem is I can't get a close enough match to this green in a brushable paint that I know of right now. I'm sure somebody has one, but I'm really used to using the Tamiya acrylic, so that's kind of my go-to for paint. Is I like the flow of it and stuff, so it's a little bit more viscous than paint, so you can kind of, yeah, work it through a bit. So if that makes any sense, just try to figure that out if you don't mind. Blabbing around here. Okay, so I'm not going to sit there and watch you make me sand this for probably 3 hours that Jesse has to edit out of here of this so far, but we're going to get these done, primer, paint, and we're going to get next up installing it on the buggy. Sure. So started hanging these body panels on the back here. The screw holes are absolutely tiny. The screws they call for, I believe, are like 1.3 by 3 millimeter, 1.3 by 5 millimeter. I found some at the local hobby shop in some Helimax helicopter kits. Tiny little guys. They're actually nice little head on them, so they go really nice with the fit on it. Unfortunately, I had to buy 4 packs of screws, and I'm just left with this pile here. I'm going to sift through it and find candidates that will work for the build and try to keep them matching, because there's just it's like a variety pack of like the whole helicopter. Screwdriver size that we're using is a 00 Phillips. Another dynamite driver. All the drivers are dynamite, aren't they? I think so, yeah. Dynamite. Ooh, fancy, fancy, fancy. Cool beans. Can't put the roof on until we get the interior mounted. Jesse's just doing some detail work on the gauges, shifter, dash, handlebars, horn, tweeters, and subwoofers. And what else would you put in? Yeah, so Jesse did the green and the white on there. Yeah, put it all cleaned up. I'm going to hit that with just a little bit of detail on the gauges and the shifters, but yeah, very nice. Out with the old deadbolt, in with the new. All done. We're gonna call this one pocket change. Came out fabulous, I think. Get some pictures up on the social medias. Axial SCX24 Facebook page, micro crawlers, all those good ones. Check them out. Hit them up. Hit us a subscribe, like. We'll get on to the next build. Good night.